Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hazima. Now I will start our presentation for topic 5, which is the first one. The first one is definition of enterprise risk management. We can call it as ERM. So, ERM defined as a process designed to identify the potential event that may affect the entity and manage the risk to be within its risk appetite to provide reasonable assurance regarding the achievement of entity objective. Next, the principle of enterprise risk management. So there are 3 principles. The first one is to make sure every entity exists to provide value to the stakeholder. The second one is all entities face uncertainty which present both risks and opportunities with potential to erode, preserve or enhance value. Then the third one is ERM enable management to deal with uncertainty, associate risk and opportunity, enhance its capacity to build the value. Next is the purpose of enterprise risk management. So there are 4 purposes. The first one is to provide the value to the stakeholder. The second one is to help the non-profit to get to where they want to go. The third one is to avoid the pitfall and surprises. And the last one is to enhance the value to achieve the mission. The next one is ERM framework. There are 2 ERM framework. The first one is COSO or Committee of Sponsoring Organization. ERM is presented by COSO as a system consisting of a interrelated component. COSO ERM has provided key principles and concepts, a common language and a clear direction, and a guidance to fulfill the need of investor, company personnel, and other stakeholders to increase their assurance in business operation. The second one is ASNZ 4360 2004. This is the standard outline ERM process that contribute to good governance and provide some protection for director and office holder. So this is the 2 figure, which is the first figure for COSO and the next figure is for ASNZ.
Hi, my name is Nur Farhana binti Muhammad Tahir. I will present about the incorporating strategies into ERM. In order to make the strategic risk become successful, several processes will be incurred. Basically, there are 7 basic steps in order for conducting a strategic risk assessment. Firstly, is to achieve a deep understanding of the strategy of the organization, which means the early stage in the process is to gain a deep understanding of the key business strategies and objectives of the organization itself. Some organizations have more well-developed strategic plans and objectives, while others may be much more informal in their articulation and documentations of strategy. In conducting this first step, a strategy framework could be useful to provide structure to the activity. Second step will be gather views and data on strategic risk. This step is to gather information and views on the organization's strategic risk. How we can get the information? It can be done through interviews of key executives and directors, surveys, and the analysis of information such as financial reports and investor presentations. We need to ensure the data that we gain must include both internal and external auditors. Thirdly is prepare a preliminary strategic risk profile, or we call it as sediakan profil risiko strategi awal. This step will play its roles as combine and analyze the data gathered in the first 2 steps before, which is the step 2 and 1 and 2. Purposely combining and analyzing the data to develop an initial profile of the organization's culture of the organization. The profile must be clearly communicate a short list of the top risks as well as their potential severity or ranking. As a way, color-coded reports or heat maps may be useful and ensure clarity of communication of this critical of information. Next is validate and finalize the strategic risk profile. In this step, the initial strategic risk profile must be validated, refined, and finalized, not by yourself but with the executive and directors. It is crucial to gain sufficient validation to prevent from major disagreements on the final risk profile. The fifth is develop a strategic risk management action plan, which the real product of this effort should be an action plan to enhance risk monitoring or management actions related to the strategic risk identified. Plus, communicate the strategic risk profile and strategic risk management and action plan. So, in this step, communication effort is a building or enhancing the organization risk culture by two primary focuses, which the first focus on the communication of the organization's top risk, while the second communication focus is the communication of management's expectations about risk to help reinforce the message. So basically, the fifth stage is about the communication in order to improvise. Last but not least, these steps the last is about the implement the strategic risk management action plan. So this step define a basic high-level process and allow for a significant amount of tailoring and customization to reflect the maturity and capabilities. As shown by figure, strategic risk assessment is an ongoing process, not just a one-time event. Reflecting the dynamic nature of risk, these 7 steps constitute a circular or closed loop process that should be ongoing and continual within the organization. As we learned from the previous, which is the process about the ERM, so right now we will talk about the benefit of ERM. So basically have the several benefit of ERM. The first one is easy scalability, which means ERM system easily scalable, which it is comparatively easy to add new functionality to the system. The new changes in the form of process and departments can be easily managed as well. Second benefit is better risk reporting, which inappropriate reporting will decline the efficiency of the operational work of a business. The third is improved data quality. ERM system improves the data quality by enhancing the underlying process compared to the old method of manual record keeping system. Then might be the low operation cost. So for getting rid of the delays and to minimize the operation cost, ERM is a great system to implement. Okay, how it can be done? By introducing fundamental innovation for resource management, such as mobility usage, real-time data collection, which can reduce the cost of operation. Improve the access to capital is about the companies which have a robust ERM system are in better position to pay back their financial obligations. Because this implies that these organizations will easily raise finance from the market, as credit lending institutes will be more likely to lend the money to these organizations. Last but not least, about the benefit of ERM is to improve the supply chain. Okay, having the robust ERM framework in place will improve the overall supply chain, such as inventory or forecast customer demand in advance to take necessary action for the future of the organization.
Hi, my name is Siti Natira binti Rosmadi. I will present about enterprise risk management. Firstly, corporate governance is
Appropriate organization processes, policy and directive related to measurement and management of risk should be laid down by the board of directors and the management of the firm. Also, regulatory requirements and penalty associated with non-compliance force the hand of management to take risk management very seriously. Secondly, line management. It means line management should consider the corporate risk policy while taking business decisions and should steer business strategy in the direction most suitable for increasing risk-adjusted return. Also, risk related to business line should be priced into product and services. Next, portfolio management. The risk management function should not assess and handle risk of business unit individually. The reason is integration of risk management function can help in the correction of nature is within the company, so reducing transaction costs. Next, risk transfer. It means financial instruments like option, future, and insurance can be used to reduce and transfer risks that are intolerable for a firm. Also, firms should structure business policy to reduce accumulation of high amount of risk in certain areas where risk-adjusted returns are not promising. Next, risk analysis. Advanced technology and risk management technique can be used to calculate the cost of risk education and transfer through financial products. Also, risk management strategy should be based on comparative advantage and risk should be transferred only if the cost involved is not more than the cost incurred by holding it. Next, data and technology resources. Data from underlying business and the market should be aggregated to make a fair assessment of business line and risk management function associated with them. ERM should ensure this aggregation and should also lay down principles and strict guidelines to preserve and improve quality of data fed into risk management system. Lastly, stakeholder management. Since the ultimate goal of a fund should be stakeholder value maximization, appropriate risk management policy should be in fact that make the entire process transparent to the stakeholder. And the board of directors should have periodic report about the risk exposed of the firm, while the regulator should be assured that the firm is complying with all industry standards.
My name is Nurul Rashida binti Muhammad Zaki. I will continue the presentation with risk management failure.
Risk management failure. The first one is poor governance and tone of the organization. Governance is the act or process of providing oversight, authoritative direction, or control. Effective governance and tone at the top drive the transparency, directness, and commitment to continuous improvement that is needed for risk management to function effectively. Ini menunjukkan takbir urus itu sendiri merupakan kunci dalam sesebuah organisasi. Takbir urus perlu mengambil tahu terhadap pengurusan risiko dalam sesuatu organisasi dan memastikan semua berjalan dengan lancar. Antara sebab berlakunya poor governance and tone of the organisation adalah kurangnya kepimpinan dan disiplin daripada lembaga pengarah dalam mengatasi masalah risiko, sehinggakan nilai perusahaan itu sendiri yang terjejas. Next is reckless risk-taking. Reckless risk-taking is an enterprise value killer. It represents undertaking risks that the board of directors and or executive management neither understand nor accept. This is need for more disciplined risk-taking during period of rapid growth and favorable market. Reckless risk-taking ni dia tahu yang organisasinya berhadapan dengan sesuatu risiko, tetapi tidak menitik beratkan untuk mengatasi risiko tersebut. Antara sebab berlaku reckless risk taking adalah tanggungjawab untuk pengurusan risiko tidak ditentukan dengan betul atau dikaitkan dengan sistem ganjaran. Sebagai contoh, si A mencadangkan satu idea terhadap organisasinya. Dia melaksanakan idea tersebut tanpa memikirkan risiko yang bakal dihadapi. Atau sekiranya in future wujud risiko daripada idea yang dilaksanakan, dia merasakan dia tidak bertanggungjawab untuk menguruskan risiko tersebut. Bagi dia buat kerja, dia dapat ganjaran. Itu saja. Hal ini juga disebabkan lembaga pengarah tidak memberikan pengawasan risiko yang mencukupi. Next is inability to implement effective enterprise risk management (ERM). Most effort to implement ERM are unfocused, severely resource constrained and pushed down so far into the organization that it is difficult to establish their relevance. The near-term result is start and stop and ceaseless discussion focuses on understanding what the objective is. The long-term result is that risk management is rarely, if ever, elevated to a strategic level and continue to be driven by functional silos within the organization. Antara sebab berlakunya inability to implement effective ERM adalah organisasi melaksanakan ERM dalam skop yang kecil dan tidak meluas. Ia juga kurangnya sokongan daripada pengurusan eksekutif serta tidak mematuhi dasar pengurusan risiko organisasi. Next is non-existent, ineffective or inefficient risk assessment. This failure arises when risk assessment activities are not identifying the critical enterprise risk effectively, efficiently, and promptly. There nothing happen when a risk assessment is complete beyond sharing the most current list of risks with company executive. Organisasi tidak tahu dan tidak boleh kesan akan risiko yang bakal dihadapi. Antara sebab berlakunya non-existent, ineffective or inefficient risk assessment adalah kekurangan pandangan proses yang membolehkan risiko penting tidak dapat disedari. In conclusion, enterprise risk management (ERM) can be viewed as the broad conceptual framework that unify varied parts of the actuarial discipline. ERM will help the corporate governance to prepare the plan of action in managing the risk.